This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. I'm Oisin Langan, and where do we start with? Well, last night, as I speak to you, UCD, as MacDara Ferris of ExtraTime.com said in his match report, no one beats them 16 times in a row, and they avoided that fate by drawing 0-0 with Shamrock Rovers. It wasn't enough to stop their guaranteed relegation as it is now. They had to win tonight to avoid that. Andy Myler announced during the week that he was stepping down. What a job he has done with them. He will stay with them until the end of the season, and I'm sure he will be a much sought after coach or manager when he leaves UCD at the end of this season. Sligo Rovers beating Derry City by 1-0. It puts them 9 points clear of Cork City, who are now in the playoff spot. Will it be enough to keep them up? Have they done enough? With Cork City, it's a weird one. Good as they've done in the Cup, you couldn't guarantee that they'll win a game between here and the rest of the season. Maybe I'm being overly negative. They lost 2-1 away to Shelbourne last night. Drogheda drew 0-0 with Bohemians. That did St. Pat's a bit of a solid because they beat Dundalk by 3-1. What does all this mean for the table? Well, it means that Shamrock Rovers are top on 59 points, Derry second on 54 points, St. Pat's third on 53 points. But remember, they have a game in hand on both Derry City and Shamrock Rovers. Shelbourne fourth on 49 points. Very much in the race for Europe. Bohemians 5th on 48 points. Dundalk 6th on 43 points. Drogheda 7th on 36 points. What a season it has been for them. Kevin Doherty said after last night's game that it's not that he'd no problem with losing last week, but he said that they didn't play well last week, whereas last night they played very well and deserved their point. Sligo Rovers in 8th position on 36 points. That's 9 clear of Cork City, but Cork City do have a game in hand on Sligo Rovers. UCD bottom of the pile on 11 points. Congratulations to Galway United, a 4-0 win away to Kerry FC. I'm sure you saw the scenes on Virgin Media last night. They're up, they're back in the top flight. I watched them last week against Dundalk. They've got a very strong team and a team that could compete maybe with one or two extra signings in the Premier Division. Treaty United 4-1 winners against Athlone. Wexford 2-1 winners against Bray Cove. Ramblers 5-1 winners against Finn Harps. They're guaranteed a playoff spot. Longford lost 3-0 to Waterford FC. Where will we start? Well, I think Richmond Park is the place to start. It was the TV game. Aoife Mullen and I were on commentary for the St. Pat's app. Coming up, you're going to hear from Joe Redmond, the Rock of Richmond, and Jamie Lennon. I spoke to both of them after the game. But first, here is the reaction of Dundalk manager Stephen O'Donnell, who spoke to Virgin Media Television after the match.
I thought that was a snapshot of our season. Thought we dominated the first half. Should have been going in ahead at the break, and then, out of nowhere, then just through very basic mistakes, 2 direct balls, we're 2-0 down. Come second half, got ourselves back into the game, sort of getting a foothold, and then we get a man sent off. So we just have this habit of shooting ourselves in the foot. But I thought the middle third of the pitch, from a control point of view, I thought we were very good first half, as I said, and out of nowhere we're 2-0 down. That's been our Achilles heel. Should be ahead in games, then give up really soft goals, and that's been the story of our season.
You said coming into the game you're looking for a positive reaction from the players. Now, maybe not in the result, but did you get that in the performance?
I thought we were bright. Thought we were, as I said, first half, thought we were very good, dominated the game. So from that point of view, but as I said in the dressing room, there's just a little difference between bringing it, which we did, I felt, from an attitude and an effort standpoint, and then just that little mountaintop, when you get it of bringing it and thou shalt not lose. And if anything, St. Pat's are lucky to come out of here with a draw, and it's just that little difference, and we're just giving up really poor goals. So that's something we obviously need to rectify, and it's just been our downfall throughout the season.
This is the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. I'm on the side of the pitch in Richmond Park with a very happy Joe Redmond. Joe, your first game back in Richmond Park for 42 days. Result-wise, couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah, definitely result-wise. I mean, it got a bit nervy at the end there, but now it's great to be back. I mean, the fans got us over the line. You could feel the bit of nervous energy when it went to 2-1, but then happy to see it out and finish off the way we did. Yeah, I'm delighted.
Were you tense in the first half, and if so, why?
Maybe not tense. I just think we didn't play, or our quality wasn't there in the first half. We went in and we addressed that, and we said we got to trust ourselves and play the way we can play. And I think there was a much improvement in the second half, and now we are delighted with it.
The goals, when they came, the first two, they came from I was going to say long balls over the top that Lonergan got to. He finished them very well, but maybe that's being a bit too basic in my description. Maybe he saw the space in behind, and it wasn't an accident that he exposed them with two of the same kind of ball.
Yeah, look, early on I think we recognised how high they were as a thing, but then when them balls go over to Tommy, he's done exceptional, and two quality finishes. And look, I couldn't be happier for Tommy. He had to wait for his opportunity this season, and he's come up with very important goals for us in the last two games. So now, look, I'm buzzing for him, and I'm buzzing for all the lads.
Are you buzzing for yourself as well? Because I used to see you before games here doing your prehab, working incredibly hard, looking enviously at me as I had a coffee, and you couldn't have any of that stuff because you didn't want to pollute your body. How good is it to be back and to be part of what is now a title run again? It was always going to be, regardless of what happened tonight anyway, but especially when you consider the results elsewhere.
Yeah, look, I am delighted to be back out there. I mean, when you're doing your prehab and you're doing all that work, these are the rewards you get for it, coming out and winning at home and winning in that sort of manner. But we're just focusing on ourselves, and we're taking it game by game. I think that's the most important thing, because you get carried away one week and it all changes and people talk. So now you just got to stay in your bubble and focus on yourself, and that's what we'll do.
What was the hardest part of rehab and coming back and being injured?
It's definitely watching the game on a Friday night and not having much control. But look, when I was away, the lads were excellent and they put in great performance and great wins. And when I was back, I just wanted to contribute.
Well, Jamie Lennon is just about to join us for an interview here. Actually, before I ask Jamie questions, do you have any questions for Jamie? Do you want to interview Jamie?
No, we have no questions for Jamie. No.
Well, he might have a question for you, like why you're wearing Sam Curtis's shorts and not your own.
They're just lucky shorts the way Sam plays. I think that's all.
Okay, Jamie Lennon, that's a good win.
Yeah, it's a brilliant win. We were disappointed last time in the league, getting Shells away. Be it we went down to 10 men, but we were on a good run up until then, so we really wanted to bounce back, and it's been a while since we played at home, so we wanted to get the fans right behind us, and yeah, brilliant win.
To win with a bit to spare in the end, granted it was one of the last kicks of the game that made it 3-1, was that a boost you needed as well? Because even though you'd reached the cup semi-final, even though you're still very much in the title race, maybe the form wasn't overly great, or is that harsh? Am I being ridiculous there?
No, I think the form was good, like, as in our results were decent, but I think performance-wise, we probably haven't played to our levels that we wanted to in the last couple of weeks. Finn Harps last week, prime example, we didn't really play and ended up squeezing by them last 10 minutes. So tonight we wanted to put on a good performance. First half, thought we were a little bit, we didn't know we didn't know what we were doing at times, and we were trying to get the grips of the game. But second half, I thought, yeah, brilliant. We brought a lot of intensity. We punished them on when we got in behind. Tommy taking his goals nicely and Mason scoring as well. So yeah, overall really happy with the second half.
You seem to love your role in the middle there. You're well able to play it, but you're also well able to break up the play. Is it a balance for you, or is there certain targets you like to hit in a game? What way does it work?
It's a balance. I'm also there to help out with other lads like Ads and Keno and that are quite young, and I think I have like decent leadership qualities that I can kind of coach them through the games as well. Kind of recognise things on the pitch, try and get us together when we need to be compact, when we need to just put a foot on the ball and stuff like that. So look, they're top players as well. But whatever I'm asked to do by John and the staff, I'll just try to do my best.
And just the other results tonight worked for you. Someone tell you that when you went into the dressing room? How did you find out, and what was your reaction when you found out that UCD drew 0-0 with Rovers and Sligo Rovers beat Derry City?
We just found out after the game, so in the dressing room, and I think walking around the pitch, a couple of people just mentioned it when we were clapping the fans. So yeah, obviously surprising results for Rovers especially, but I think we even found out ourselves how difficult UCD away was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was a 1-0. I think we beat them. Yeah, 1-0. So like, look, it's not easy, especially the fact that I think they changed the manager this week too. So there's always kind of a little bounce after that. But yeah, the other results, look, we can't control any of that. It's just, we were just talking in the dressing room there about it's been a while since we played at home, and we're at home now twice in a couple of days. So I think it's important that we pick up maximum points in these two games, and tonight's halfway there.
How beneficial, before I let you go, was it to have played tonight and then you'll get another home game on Monday? Because it looked at the start of the game like you were kind of getting back used to your surroundings again, because it had been so long since you played here.
Yeah, you're probably right. I felt like a little bit like that myself, but like I said, once we got the grips of the game and the grips of their shape and their press, I thought we played very well in the second half. And yeah, it's massive. Like, I think if you look at our home form, it's been really good. Last time I checked, I think our home form, if the table was based on that, we'd be top or second. So it shows that we're quite good at home, and we enjoy getting the fans behind us, and they've been behind us, to be fair, through all the ups and downs of this year. And look, Monday's a massive game for us now, so we need to just focus on that.
Jamie, well done tonight. Thanks for talking to the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast.
Cheers, thank you.
Jamie Lennon, and before him, Joe Redmond speaking to me following St. Pat's victory over Dundalk last night at Richmond Park. If you want to listen back to commentary, by the way, you can do so on the St. Pat's app. Aoife Mullen of extratime.com and I were on duty. Obviously, you can watch that game back on the Virgin Media player. Or you can just check out the highlights on the LOI TV YouTube channel. You have lots of options. A former Sligo Rovers, Finn Harps and Derry City player Declan Boyle was on duty with LOI TV last night alongside Donal Ryan. They watched Sligo Rovers beat Derry City by 1-0. And after the game, they sent us this voice note.
So this is Donal Ryan, fresh from commentary in the showgrounds. Sligo Rovers beaten Derry City by 1-0 here. Stefan Radosavich, the substitute, popping up with the winner in the 84th minute. Declan Boyle was alongside me for this one. And Declan, great win for Sligo Rovers, albeit somewhat controversial.
Yeah, a wee bit controversial. We're not sure. We watched it a few times and we don't know was there a handball involved in it, Donal or not. But listen, it's a massive performance, a massive result, and just what everybody's looking for around the club. We wanted that wee bit of a lift. You know, we played really well in the second half. I thought I played them at times, created a lot of chances. You know, we had more shots on target than Derry City tonight. Even though in the first half Derry City controlled probably a large portion of the game without causing too many problems. I thought we defended well in numbers, and then we also were a lot more of a threat in the second half. I thought Cara Sullivan was outstanding tonight. Hutchison on the left hand side was outstanding as well, and we could have probably ended up being 2-0. Sending off definitely helped us in regards to Derry losing Ronan Boyce in the middle of the second half, but it was an outstanding performance and a great result. I'm delighted the players performed so well and backed up their manager.
Yeah, just on that as well, Ronan Boyce was sent off towards the end of the second half. The referee, Rob Harvey, wasn't shy in dishing out the yellow cards this evening. 4 for Sligo Rovers in the first half and 1 for manager John Russell. Their total came to 5. Derry City, 2 yellow cards, both of them for Ronan Boyce this evening.
Yeah, but you know, listen, there's a lot of yellow cards, and we talked about it during the match that we need to be careful in the second half. As Sligo Rovers players need to be careful because we had 4 and ended up Ronan Boyce got a yellow card in the first half of the game, and then it was a funny one because the ball was going out for a throw, and it was really stupid for me because the ball was going out as his throw, and there was a wee bit of a collision. He fell over the ball, and the referee didn't give a free kick for him, and he held on to the ball. Sligo were looking to do it quickly, and he wouldn't let them do it. And so I think it was Cara Sullivan looked to get the ball up in 3 or 4 times, and he held on to the ball, got a yellow card, and he was obviously a yellow card in the first half, so they ended up getting a red card, and it was really very, very silly. Obviously there was a bit of friction between the 2 benches when he walked off. Also he kicked a water bottle and it ended up hitting somebody within the bench over there in Sligo Rovers, so that caused more of a fight between both benches. But listen, it added to the occasion. It was a wonderful game of football in the second half, especially. It was end to end without too many goals, but it was a wonderful performance by Sligo Rovers. Man for man, they were excellent tonight.
Certainly a very entertaining game here, thanks to both sides in the showgrounds. Derry City's doing their best to keep up with Shamrock Rovers at the top of the table. That result tonight will do them no favours. But Declan, if I was to push you tonight for a player of the match, who would your choice be?
Oh, it's a close one. I thought Cara Sullivan, I mentioned, I thought he was excellent, has been excellent coming back in. We've really missed him throughout the whole season. His mobility and he skipped past players, his work rate's been brilliant. I thought Hutchison down the left hand side was probably the man of the match for me tonight.
And just finally, Declan, in your own view, what does that result mean at both ends of the table this evening?
I think it's a massive bearing, obviously, in Derry City, because they're probably lucky to go out of jail. The fact that Shamrock Rovers only drew with UCD, I was expecting Shamrock Rovers to go and be UCD, but there you go. You never know with football what can happen. So they lose 1 point in it. So now is it up to 6 points now? I think it's 5 points between Derry City and Shamrock Rovers. So there's still 5 games left, a lot to play for, but it definitely carries and put extra pressure on Derry City in the next home match.
Donal Ryan and Declan Boyle for the extratime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. They were on LOI TV duty in the showgrounds where Sligo Rovers beat Derry City by 1-0. How damaging is that for Derry City's title bid? We'll find out over the next couple of weeks. Right, let's go to the game between Drogheda United and Bohemians in Weavers Park. Drogheda had lost 4 times to Bohs this season. Could they stop the rot last night? Let's find out with former Drogheda and Shamrock Rovers player Paul Crowley, who was on LOI TV and LMFM duty, and afterwards he sent us this voice note.
Pushing all over here in Weavers Park, where Bohemians were the visitors to Drogheda United. Second game, the 2 teams playing a week. 0-0 on the night. The scoreline doesn't reflect how good the game was. Both teams in and out of possession. very brave. Fitness levels were really high tonight. Drogheda a lot flatter last week. I thought they needed to bring a bit more energy to the game tonight, and they did. Andrew Rogan was brilliant for Drogheda goal tonight. Some really big saves to keep the score at 0-0 in the first half. No clear-cut chances for either team in the first half. Bows again then come out in the second half, starting really lively, as they did last week. Drogheda sat behind the ball and were their usual hard to break down, and then had some great counter-attacks as well, both teams. But Bows really started lively with the first 20 minutes and really went at Drogheda. They went over then. Drogheda came back into for about 10 minutes. Couple of yellow cards for late tackles in the second half. No real chances to report. Andrew Wogan, just again 17 years of age, was outstanding in goal tonight for Drogheda. Made the simple things and done them really well. Afalabi just maybe towards the end, about 6 minutes ago, just found himself a great touch to come inside, but just found himself slightly offside. Last 5 minutes then just played out. You just felt there might have been a chance for either side, but Bows will be more disappointed. Drogheda, much better performance than last week. Bows finished the game really strong last week and were unable to finish the game strong tonight. They brought out Ali Coote, brought in Danny Grant. He wasn't really able to affect the game as much as Declan Devine would have liked. But it finished here tonight 0-0, as I said, in a freezing cold Weavers Park. And Drogheda be the happier about, especially with the outcome up in Talca Park, where they see Cork City getting beaten by Shelbourne.
Paul Crowley for the ExtraTime.com League of Ireland Voice Notes podcast. That is where we leave it. We already ran through all the scores and the table. Do you want me to do it again? Have you that short a memory? I'll do it if you want. Okay, here we go. UCD 0, Shamrock Rovers 0, Shelbourne 2, Cork City 1, Drogheda United 0, Bohemians 0, St Patrick's Athletic 3, Dundalk 1 and Sligo Rovers 1, Derry City 0. Those are the scores from the Premier Division. Kerry FC 0, Galway United 4, Treaty United 4, Athlone Town 1, Wexford 2, Bray Wanderers 1, Cove Ramblers 5, Finn Harps 1 and Longford Town 0, Waterford FC 3. So those are the scores from last night. You know the table ramifications at this stage, and we ran through them at the top of the show. There is action on Monday night, by the way. St Pat's take on Drogheda United. Dundalk are up against Cork City. That's such a huge game for both. For Cork City, they need wins, they need points if they're to have any chance of catching up with Sligo Rovers and avoiding the playoff spot. Also playing Bohemians and Shelbourne. Also a huge game. Galway United play on Monday night. They're up against Finn Harps at home. I can't imagine that they'll be in the most focused of states for that game. It was interesting watching John Caulfield's interviews last night after the game. His interview with Virgin Media, and he was just jubilant. I have to say, when they lost the playoff last year, I thought Caulfield and Galway were done. But fair play to him. He brought in Ollie Horgan. He signed well. They recovered well. Fair play to the club for backing him. A fantastic achievement for Galway United. Also, by the way, on Monday night, Wexford take on Longford Town. That's a huge game in the first division because Wexford are 5th on 45 points and Longford are 6th on 38 points. They've both played 31 games. If Longford are to have a realistic chance of getting into the playoffs, then they really need to win on Monday night. So big games in the Premier Division on Monday night, but also huge games in the first division. The Republic of Ireland women's team taking on Northern Ireland in the Nations League. That's, later on today as I talk to you on Saturday morning. The game is possibly over by the time you're watching it. Let's hope they got the win at the Aviva and can start their new era in style. Have they put pressure on themselves? Well, has Diane Caldwell specifically put pressure on them with some of the comments she's made about Vera Pauw having nothing really to do with their success? Maybe, but that's good too. That's a challenge. They know that pressure is coming from themselves, whatever about outside the group. Can they evolve their style? Can they play better football and get equally good results or achieve things that they did under Vera, such as qualification for a major tournament? We will see. Although good as the players are, I find it very hard to believe that they achieved what they achieved without the input of their coach. An imperfect relationship between her and the players, but I think she deserves some credit. Right, that's almost it for myself, Oisin Langan. Remember, you can read all of the match reports from last night on extratime.com. There'll be a whole bunch of other stuff there as well in the coming days, previewing the action on Monday night. We should be back with you on Monday night, by the way, / Tuesday morning. All of those games on Monday night, I think they're all on LOI TV. I know the St. Pat's Drogheda game is anyway. I'm on that. I don't think Virgin or RT you're doing any of the Monday night games. I stand to be corrected, but either way you will be able to watch them, and you'll be able to watch those First Division games as well. Galway Finn Harps, that's going to be just one giant party. Wexford against Longford, that's going to be a huge game. As always, you can get in contact with Extra Time at Extra Time News, and you can get me through at Oisin Langan. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.